Honorable Member Dr. Kakoli Ghosh Dassidar.
Chairman Sahab, Johar, Kurumjari, Changpai, Kakipae. I stand in support for the demand for GRAB for the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. We are trying for the upliftment of the backward people. Now, only the other day, an honorable member from that side was stating an incident in which just because a dog belonging to the family of a backward person barked at an youth of a high-class person, all the hutments belonging to the backward people were burned down. This shows where we stand today. It shows the status of the backward people. It shows the status of the tribal people, the Dalits, today in India. But of course, the National Scheduled Tribes Finance and Development Corporation, set up in 2001 with an authorized share capital of 500 crore, was to support them. The state tribal development corporations were provided with funds to the tune of 48.76 crores. The 10th plan provided 2,518.07 crores to the state governments to strengthen the tribal sub-plans. But the main point remains that who is monitoring them? As far as my state West Bengal is concerned, it has become famous for the starvation deaths in the areas of Lalgarh, Amlashal, Kheada and Ghoshpara in Murshidabad. So there has to be a very strict monitoring and accountability again as to what is happening to the fund that is going to these places to take care of the tribal people. If these people were well fed and looked after, I'm sure they would not suffer as they do today. Neither they would be misled as they are being today. We recognize them for their primitive mindset, and so do, like us, the enemies of India, the national enemies, who instigate these gullible people to discontent and resentment and encourage them to take up arms. Because, as we know, the Article 366 of the Constitution of India refers to the scheduled tribes as those communities who are scheduled in accordance with Article 342 of the Constitution. The essential characteristics first laid down by the Lokur Committee states that these are people with indications of primitive traits, distinctive cultures, shyness of contact with the community at large, geographical isolation and backwardness. So when we do realize that they have these traits, it becomes even more important for people like us to stand by them and not unleash state-sponsored terrorism on them. There are areas, for example in Manipur, the base level, ground level election has not taken place for 20 years. It has given rise to resentment amongst the people. They are looking for their democratic right to franchise, their democratic right to fight the elections for self-governments. But this is not done, and that is the reason why they are up in arms. I think it is pertinent to put here that we should be taking their status in mind and looking after their democratic rights also. What is the difference between those people and us? Anthropologically, it is the same race, fusion of gametes resulting in the phenotype of Homo sapiens or human beings. Intellectually, the DNA replicates to form the sulci and gyri of the brain. It is the same brain, it is the same human being. But only difference is the social behavior, that in different regions it differs, customs vary, cultural heritage varies, languages vary, and if we can handle it carefully, we can have them brought to the mainstream. They are powerful people. They have risen against the state number of times. They have risen against oppression even during the pre-independence times. They are used to walking miles together with load on their head through jungles. They run down hillsides, which we cannot do. They carry wood. They carry water. Why can't we have them channelized into things like sports? Why can't we have them channelized into departments like defense? Why can't we adopt their culture as our own? Why can't we promote their song and dance and give it to the world who are going to be impressed by them? We can teach the women their weaving. They are doing their own weaving in different parts of our country. Why can't we encourage them, give them more allotment and engage these women for self-help? Why can't we, like the Dokra culture, encourage them for sculptures which can be sold? We know that the Incas are still being preserved, the totem pole being sold all over the world. So our necessity would be to think for some reason, for some organization, some setup, some autonomous body that can take care of their needs. It is true that today, as per the 2001 census, there are 84.33 million of them here, and there are 573 scheduled tribes speaking 270 languages. So when we are trying to allot fund for their education, what is happening is the teacher who is going to the village to teach, or the hilly area or the forest area, is speaking the regional language. The child doesn't know the regional language. So the child doesn't understand what the teacher is saying, and the teacher doesn't understand what the child is saying. For this reason, the bridge was supposed to be formed for the understanding of languages, but that has not been effective, since 25% of the teachers are not performing their duty properly. Now, the forest dwellers traditionally are protected by articles in the Constitution. The hill dwellers are also protected. Their rights have to be recognized. Through the Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya scheme and through the other schemes, we are trying to help them. And there has been the Janshala program of the Government of India along with 5 United Nations agencies, but we have seen the dropout rate is very high. Because where do these little children go? They either go to fetch water for the family, because the family does not have drinking water facility, or they also go to the forest to collect wood as firewood for their meals to be cooked. So we have to look at their basic needs very seriously. Why, after 63 years of independence nearly, we have not been able to organize drinking water, potable water for them? Why can't we have an autonomous body which takes care of the drinking water facility for these kind of backward people in our country? Isn't it high time? And with the global warming setting in, the situation is not going to improve. And that is why their education, their drinking water facility has to be given have to be taken up very seriously and given importance. Their health facilities are completely lacking. They do not get food. I wonder how many of us here sitting in this august house has had the opportunity to taste chutney made of red ants. But that is the food that these tribal people are taking in their homes, because there is no food there, there is no water there. And they are suffering from diseases, and there is no means by which they can go to the doctors. So if we take good care of them, they will also take good care of us. There are areas after areas in Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, and in the districts of Purulia, Bankura, Birbhum, West Midnapur, in West Bengal, where starvation deaths are common. They cannot organize 2 square meals a day.
Madam,
Though
please conclude.
the National Rural Health Mission is trying to do a lot for the people, I do think that these people need better care, and we must organize health cure facilities for them, their food, their education, and bring them to the mainstream so that they can live a good life. With it, I support the demand of grants for the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Honorable